This is what you might have missed on BCSN's Sports Nightly.
Time for your weekly racing report brought to you by Toledo Speedway. I'm CJ Perry alongside Steve Ronkowitz, and let's get right into the action because what a fantastic weekend of racing action that we had. First off at Sandusky Speedway, in preparation for the Saturday Night High Miler Nationals, we had the Fast 40 on Friday night. We had the Modifieds running a 30-lap feature, and of course the ISMA Super Modifieds in town running their 40-lap feature. Boy, this modified race though, Steve, how much trouble can you have transferring power to the track? Because for the first 10 laps, it was nothing but skating around, caution-filled race, so it was very tough to get to even lap number 10.
Never knew if we were going to get that race done, right?
Yeah.
You could have hit a curfew at 3 o'clock in the morning for all we knew, because that thing is just one lap, 2 laps at a time, and they really did have a hard time trying to figure out a way to get around that racetrack. Sandusky can be weird at times, especially in turn 3 and 4. We've documented it many times, and that it was no different. Yeah. McKnight had a problem even in practice.
Right, yeah, exactly.
He ended up on the top of a tree.
Tyler Schulich also almost landed on top of the same tree. He got bumped off the track completely, but by lap 10, Kenny Sharp assumed control of this race, and from there it was just lights out. So once you get past all those early race, all those cautions early on, Kenny Sharp basically cruised home with this.
Yeah, Bob Cibula comes in second, Travis Eddy in third. That was kind of the way he was going to finish all weekend.
The Fast 40, Super Modifieds taking to the track. You put Trent Stevens on the pole position. They probably could have found something, some sort of inversion, because all he did, you talk about a walk away, this kid just absolutely walked away with this race.
Well, it was a Fast 40. He started on front row. He went to the front. He stayed on the front row. He stayed in front. Nobody else was going to get anywhere near him. Jeff Locke did a pretty good job of making it somewhat interesting at times, but he never got within more than 0.3 of a second that whole race.
Yeah, a little bit of lap traffic, but really, Trent Stevens was fast for all 40 laps. We turn our attention to Flat Rock Speedway, and Steve, I'm so glad that we got this feature in the Stan Yee Memorial 150. We had weather threatening all day long. Could we get this race in? Could we not? Actually wash the figure eight feature out, wash that out later on, but the ARCA Gold Cup late models, they did not disappoint. No. 70 hard-charging laps to begin this race. You held your breath at times. Early on, Terry Seneca would assume control of the race, but that is not how this thing would finish out with.
No, Seneca, he got it early, but it was tough for a second, though, about Brian Bergacker.
Yeah, Bergacker.
He ended up in second spot, but he was a fast qualifier.
Right.
Go back a little bit. This guy had never seen this racetrack before.
First time he ever saw Flat Rock Speedway was in practice.
Yeah.
On Friday night.
That day.
Yep.
It was a craziness.
Yeah. So Bergacker was quick qualifier. The inversion was 10, so he started back in the back. We didn't know if he was going to really come into play, but of course he would. So around lap 70, Jeff Gannis, don't forget about Jeff Gannis, started making some noise. He crept up, started challenging Terry Seneca. So then by about lap 95, 96, that's when chaos broke loose because we had so many cars on the track, everyone was stacked up, and that's when the lead swapping would start.
It did, and with 18 cars left on the racetrack at the end of that race, there was traffic all the way around that racetrack, and they never could find their way out of it, but Jeff Gannis makes a bonsai move. He gets to the front. Craziness ensued, but he was the guy that was able to find a way to win the race.
So on lap 106, Bergacker would come away with the spot. Then on lap 127, Gannis would come away with the spot. So all night long, it was just fantastic racing. What a great feature. Like you said, Bergacker finished second, Terry Seneca finished in third. So hats off to those guys putting off a heck of a show. BCSN Sunday night at the races will be there. Friday night, of course, we will have the Fast 410s, the LMS late models, and the 305 sprint, so looking forward to that show. Also Friday at Toledo Speedway, it's kids night once again. You have the late model sportsman, figure eights, the X cars, and the flagpole race. And Saturday night at Flat Rock Speedway, your favorite, the Enduro's coming back.
Hey, the Enduro, we got to do one of those one of these days.
You know, we keep.
Sometimes it seems like we do Enduros.
Yes, there are nights that.
But I would like to do a real Enduro
instead of just a test of endurance.
Yes, right.
Street Stock's also running in support. Okay, that's going to do it for the Racing Report. For Steve Ronkowitz, I'm CJ Perry. Back to you.
Be sure to watch Sports Nightly weeknights at 10:30 on BCSN and follow us on Twitter at sports_nightly.